you stand out from a lot of other people, and we're going to find out what is so unique about you, what currently is making you stand out. And already have the Ten of Swords here at the bottom of the deck. So people can sense that you have been through hella betrayals. Okay, you've been through hell and back. Okay, yeah. Look, we have the Ten of Wands as well. Oh, and then we have the Popus. So this is the gag. You've been through like hell and back with the Ten of Swords, with the Ten of Wands, but you came out as the Popus. Okay, you came out as like someone who it like looks like hasn't been touched. Okay, and I think that was makes you stand out, because a lot of people who go through this energy stay in this energy. They stay bitter, they stay hateful, they stay miserable because of life circumstances. But no, I feel like you transmute all of that pain, all of this pain into your blessings. You transmute it into your power here. Hence why we have the Popus. Okay. And I feel like that makes you stand out, because like the more that you transmute your pain into power, the more, like, first of all, the more younger you look also, and like the more blessings that you receive as well, because you're using all of that energy to create something better for yourself. Okay. And that's kind of like unheard of nowadays. I feel like nowadays a lot of people, they kind of like act out in the same ways that they were either betrayed, or act out in the same ways that, you know, that, or they try to put burdens in other people's lives, or they're trying to make other people feel miserable. But I feel like you are kind of like the opposite of that. You kind of like transmute it and turn it into your power here. We have the Knight of Wands here as well. And then at the bottom we have the King of Cups. The Knight of Wands in this deck is kind of like a waiting period, transition, everything like that. So I feel like what makes you stand out is the fact that like you have like good first of all, we talked about transmuting energy, but it's also like the way that you transition from like certain levels in your life is actually kind of like scary to people, because I feel like one day people see you maybe like broke down, sad, whatever, but then like the next time they see you, like a week later, it could be months, you are on the up and up. Okay, you're like embodying this kind of King of Cups energy. Okay, you're coming off of something that's like in the King of Cups energy. Someone whose cup is like full to the brim. It's getting really dark because I feel like it's about to rain right now. But yeah, I feel like, you know, you walk around with like your cup full of like abundance, of like love or whatever, despite the fact that like you've been through so much, and, you know, despite the fact that like you had to kind of wait maybe like long periods of time in order to receive this type of energy for yourself, or this abundance for yourself. Okay. What is currently making TikTok Collective stand out? You have the Star. Okay, with the Eight of Swords, you are a star, just period. Okay, I think that's also what makes you stand out. You have kind of like a light about you that a lot of people can get really triggered by. There's something about you that like just obviously stands out from other people, and I think it's just kind of like this star energy that you have. It's almost kind of like an anointing on your life, but it's also like an energy, charisma that you just embody that a lot of other people, you know, just don't have. Like you, it's like it's kind of like an it factor that you have, and that puts a lot of people in this Eight of Swords energy, especially people that like you deal with on a daily basis, just because a lot of people see, you know, you, and they kind of want this energy for themselves, and because they can't really like embody that for themselves, they're going to try to either tear you down, or they're going to try to like make you feel bad about your anointing, or make you feel bad about, you know, the star power that you do have. They're going to make you feel ashamed or embarrassed of it, so that way you can kind of join their little hate group. Okay. You can join the little miserable hate group here. And then we have Force here, which I think is the Strength, obviously. So like I said before, like your pain, like you are just a very strong, powerful person just in general, but I feel like it's just because of all the pain that you endured. All the things that you endured built you up to be someone who is unfuckwittable, untouchable, okay? And a lot of people would not survive the things that you've been through. And I think that's also what makes you stand out as well, is that you survived everything that you've been through. In fact, you came out better than how you came in before all the betrayals and the backstabbings and the, you know, attempts to like ruin your life, sabotage your reputation, everything like that. Like, despite all that, you're still untouchable. You're still, you know, standing 10 toes down in your power. That's got a lot of people big, man. Let's just say that. You have the Pope as well. I feel like you have both masculine and feminine energies because you have the Popus and the Pope. That also makes you stand out because a lot of people just embody just one. And then we have Temperance here, which is all about healing. And I feel like, you know, you've done the work. Okay, you've done, it's obvious that you've done, like, you know, your shadow work, your healing work, you faced your demons. And like I said before, that's going to show on you because I feel like the more that you heal yourself, the more that you face your demons and do the shadow work, the better you are going to look because you're shedding all of that like negative muck off of you and out of your brain, out of your mind. Because like I feel like people who like keep all that like negative energy and negativity inside themselves, like you are going to start to turn ugly. You're going to start to turn nasty and disgusting. So the more that you work on yourself and your shadow work, like the prettier that you're going to get. And I feel like, you know, that also what makes you stand out, which I feel like maybe you were chopped before because like I said before, you're going through hell and back, so you're probably chopped. But because you did so much of the shadow work and healing work, like you became someone who's like really attractive. Okay,